Okay, this is section 2.4. This is more about linear equations. We've talked a lot about linear equations already with slope-intercept form. We're going to learn two new forms today. Okay, our objectives here today are to write an equation of a line given a slope and a point. You're also going to be asked to write the equation of a line given 2 points. Okay. Given the slope and the y-intercept, you can always write the equation in slope-intercept form. But you can also write the equation in what we call point-slope form. That's one of the new forms we're going to learn about today. Remember, slope-intercept form was y equals mx plus b. The very first key concept here that we're going to talk about is point-slope form. The equation of a line in point-slope form through the ordered pair x1 and y1. This is just any ordered pair that it could go pass through. And with the slope of m, any slope that you want, is y minus y1 equals the slope m times the quantity x minus x1. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to take these values, this x value right here, we're going to substitute it in. We're going to take this y value right here, we're going to substitute it in. We're going to take the m, substitute it in, and then you have your equation in point-slope form. Now you can also go from point-slope form to slope-intercept form eventually as well, which we're also going to talk about that. Okay, so point-slope form. As we look at this here, writing an equation given a point and a slope. So it says a line passes through the ordered pair negative 5, 2 with a slope of 3/5. And it wants you to write it in point-slope form, which again, we'll write this down here again, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, and all we're going to do, this right here is x1, this is y1, this is your m. We're just going to substitute these guys in. Okay, so we've got y minus y1 is 2 equals m. The m is 3/5, the slope is 3/5, times the quantity x minus x1 is negative 5. Okay, and to simplify this up a little bit, again, these two negatives right here will become positive since they're right next to each other. So this would be written as y minus 2 equals 3/5 times the quantity x plus 5. This would be if they want your answer in point-slope form. Okay? If they want your answer in point-slope form. Now, if they wanted you to put it in slope-intercept form, you would have to get y by itself, which would mean that you would have to distribute. Okay, and I'll talk about that one in our next problem. Okay, so let's take a look here at number 2. It says a line passes through the ordered pair 7, negative 1 with a slope of negative 3. So again, y minus negative 1 is y1 equals the slope of negative 3 times the quantity x and minus 7. Okay, I got to clean it up a little bit. This becomes y plus 1 equals negative 3 times the quantity x minus 7. Again, this is point-slope form. Okay, if they want it in point-slope form. If they want it in slope-intercept form, we're going to take and we're going to distribute this guy. So y plus 1 equals negative 3x and plus 21. Okay, and then I'm going to subtract 1 from each side because I want to get y by itself, because y equals negative 3x and plus 20. This is slope-intercept form, which is what we talked about before in section 2.3. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, so they could ask you to write it in point-slope form. They could ask you to write it in slope-intercept form. If they don't give you directions on how they want you to write it, you can leave it in either one. Okay. Point-slope form is probably the easiest to use with a point and a slope. Slope-intercept form is probably the easiest to use when it comes to graphing. Okay? Alright, now let's take a look now at these next questions, and you'll notice these next questions here. It says, on this, a line passes through the ordered pair 3, 2 and 5, 8. What is the equation of a line in point-slope form? So as we look at this now, the first thing we want to do here is we got to find the slope. Okay, so we don't have a slope this time. Now we've got 2 points. So to find the slope is, I take my y minus my y, 8 minus 2 over 5 minus 3, y minus y over x minus x, and I get 6 over 2, which is just going to be 3. Okay? So you find the slope first. Then the second part here, you're going to pick an ordered pair. Doesn't matter which one. You can pick any one of these two. It doesn't matter which one of these two you pick. Okay, so let's use the slope of 3, and let's use the ordered pair 3, 2. And I'm going to plug that into now point-slope form. Remember, point-slope form is there. So I've got, as I plug it in, y minus the y value is 2 equals the m, which is 3, times the x minus the value of x is 3. And that's your answer in point-slope form. Okay. All right. Second one. Line passes through negative 5, 0, and 0, 7. What is the equation of the line in point-slope form? So your answer has to be in this form. So again, we got to find the slope. So the slope is 7 minus 0 over 0 minus negative 5. 7 minus 0 is 7. These two become a positive, so my slope is 7/5. And I'm going to pick the ordered pair 0, 7. Again, it doesn't matter which ordered pair you pick. So as we look at this guy right here, we plug this into point-slope form. Y minus 7 equals 7/5 times the quantity x minus 0. So we would get that as your point-slope form answer. Okay. All right, so then we figured out how to find the slope, or find the equation of a line with a slope and a point and 2 points. Okay, now the second new form we're going to learn here is standard form of a linear equation. Standard form of a linear equation is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are real numbers and a and b are not both 0. A couple things to notice how this one is different. You'll notice slope-intercept form, we said get y by itself. Okay, point-slope form has the point and the 2 and the slope, or the 2 points and the slope. This one here has x and y on the same side of the equal sign. It's on the same side of the equals. Okay, so how do we write an equation now in standard form? Okay, number one, the goal is to get x and y on the same side of the equation with the real number on the other side. Okay. Number two, a and b are not both 0. They cannot both be 0. Because if a and b are both 0, there's no x and y. And step 3 says a and b cannot be fractions or decimals. This is a very important one that we're going to talk about down here. Okay. So, as we look at some examples now using these steps, we want to get x and y to the same side. We want to make sure that a and b are not both 0, and that a and b cannot be fractions or decimals. So, it says, what is the equation of the line here in standard form of y equals 3/4 x minus 5? So, first thing we got to do here as we look at this is we want to get this x to the other side first. So in order to do that, I've got to subtract 3/4 x. It's positive, I got to subtract it. And x is always going to go first. So this is negative 3/4 x plus a y equals negative 5. Okay. Now you'll notice this right here, we can't have this fraction right here. Okay. So as we look at this guy, we've got what you're going to do here to get rid of the fraction is you're going to multiply everything by whatever the number is in the denominator. So the number here in the denominator is 4, so I'm going to multiply everything by 4. Okay. And you'll notice what will happen is when I do this, I distribute this to each part. And the 4s, what will happen is this 4 will cancel out with this 4. And I'm left with a negative 3x. 4 times y is 4y. Equals negative 5 times 4 is negative 20. And this is in standard form. Okay? All right. Second one, as we look at this guy, okay, so what's the equation of a line? Y equals 9.1x plus 3.6. So again, I want to get x and y to the same side. So I'm going to subtract 9.1x. Then I get negative 9.1x plus y equals 3.6. Now again, it said in the directions that there are to be no fractions or decimals. So we can't have any decimals. So if we can't have any decimals, how are we going to get rid of this decimal here as well? We're going to multiply everything by what, if you look at this, this is in this one, or the number of decimals that we have here is in the tenths place. So I'm going to multiply by the number of 10. And what it's going to do is it's going to take each one of these decimals and move them right one. Okay? So this is really negative 91x plus y has a 1 in front of it. If I move the decimal to the right one, that makes it 10y, 10 times 1. Okay, I'm multiplying each of these guys by 10. And it's going to equal, if I move it right, I get 36. And now this is in standard form. No decimals, no fractions. Okay? You're going to have problems like this on problems that we're going to look at on Thursday as well, where you got to write them in standard form, make sure there's no decimals, no fractions. Next, you'll see the concept summary here, writing equations of lines right here. This is exactly what we just got done talking about, all three of them put together. This should be a great page to resource and take a look at. Okay, and the last part of what we're going to do now is we're going to graph these equations. And they're going to be in standard form. So in standard form, it's going to be ax plus by equals c, or x and y are on the same side of the equal sign. How are we going to graph those without having to put it in slope-intercept form every time? Okay. Well, how to graph this equation in standard form? We're going to find the y-intercept, or the ordered pair here, 0y. Okay, so to find the y-intercept, we set x equal to 0. If x is 0, a times 0 is 0, which essentially means all you're going to have left is this part of the equation. We solve for y, and the y-intercept is 0 and whatever you found for y. Okay. Step 2 says we're going to find the x-intercept. X and whatever the x value is, and the y value is 0. So I'm going to set y equal to 0, put it in. If I put y in for 0 here, this guy essentially is going to go away, and I'm left with whatever this is equals c. So I solve for x. The ordered x-intercept is going to be whatever you find for x, and the ordered pair is 0. Then I plot these two ordered pairs above and draw the line between the two of them. Okay? So let's take a look at some examples now. 2 examples is we're going to look at here. Okay, so let's take a look here at this first one here. What are the intercepts of 3x plus 5y equals 15, and then graph the equation? So let's take a look here. We've got the x-intercept and we've got the y-intercept. Okay, for the x-intercept, again, y is going to be 0. So if I put 0 in for y, 3 times x plus 5 times 0 equals 15. Essentially, this is going to go away. It's going to cancel out, so I've got 3x equals 15. If I divide by 3, x equals 5. So I have the ordered pair for the x-intercept of 5. X is 5, and we put 0 in for y, so y is 0. Now, for the y-intercept, x is going to be 0. So I've got 3 times 0 plus 5y equals 15. Or this part right here is going to go away because it's just 0. So 5y equals 15. If I divide by 5, y equals 3. So this is going to be the ordered pair. X is 0 and y is 3. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot these two ordered pairs down here on the graph and then draw my line. So we got the ordered pair 5, 0. Okay, so I'm going to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and put a dot. That's the ordered pair 5, 0. The other ordered pair is 0, 3, so I'm going to go 0, up 1, up 2, and up 3. So 0, 3, like so. Plot those 2 points, 0, 3. And now I'm going to draw the line between these 2 points. Like so. And now you have a line. So now as you look at this problem here now, we've found the intercepts, the x and the y intercept, and now we're able to graph our straight line. That's the line of the equation 3x plus 5y equals 15. Okay? All right, let's take a look at this last example here now. And I'll zoom in on here so we can look at this a little bit easier. What are the intercepts of 2x minus 4y equals 8? So, again, we've got to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. X-intercept, y is 0. Y-intercept, x is 0. So if I put y in for 0, I end up getting 2x equals 8. Because, again, this part right here is going to go away. So if I do that, x is going to equal 4, and I have the ordered pair 4, 0. Over here, if I put 0 in for x, I've got negative 4y equals 8. This part is gone, is 0, because 2 times 0. So if I divide by negative 4, y is going to equal negative 2. Okay, which means that I have a y-intercept of 0 and negative 2. So now I'm going to come down here and plot these 2 points, 0, negative 2, and 4, 0. I'm going to go right 4, put a dot, 4, 0. This is the ordered pair 4, 0. And I'm going to go down 2, put a dot. This is 0, negative 2. And now that I have my 2 points, draw the line between these 2 points. And now we have our graph of this equation. Okay? So you can graph in standard form, you can graph in slope-intercept form as well. Okay? This concludes section 2.4. More about linear equations.